Hello all and welcome to the Peacocks podcast, episode 7. At this time I'm joined by the CEO, chairman and head groundsman of Taunton Town, Kevin Sturmey. Kevin, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, what's your week been like?
Wet.
Yeah, just
it's been okay. It's just
a
bit boring in the office all week, not being able to get on the pitch.
Lots of emails.
Yeah, and it's that bit of fresh air.
Yeah.
Normally I'm quite lucky. I can, do a bit in the office, probably get some fresh air on the pitch.
Yeah.
And sometimes I need that fresh air. So, this week I keep looking at it, think, we might be able to get it on. I said to Simon this week, I said, have some days off.
Yeah.
Because you'll be making it up, and obviously it's just been a bit of a nightmare.
I know. I saw the photo of the Western's ground when it was Tuesday, and you just dropped the ball and it's dead. Yeah, there's nothing. There's no way you could have got that game on, unfortunately.
It was a shame really, because Friday pitch was fine.
Oh yeah,
it was all marked. I said to Simon, I said, "You had any problem areas?" No, it was it had dried really well. And obviously then we were hoping that Dennis the Menace was going to come in at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and of course it came in overnight, and it started at 9 o'clock, and sadly we pulled the inspection forward, because soon as you wake up and you look at the amount of water, we've got the house we bought, we've got a rainwater gully, which that at the moment when you see the water gushing down there, I thought, I don't think we'll be playing today somehow.
That's the thing, is you see the forecast and you're like, fingers crossed, but no, Storm Dennis 1-0, I think.
The danger, the away dugout roof blew
off.
Oh,
of course, yeah.
So, that, if that had happened during the game, I think we'd have seen the issue, but it actually took a block with it, so the roof blew off.
Really?
And it took a concrete block with
exactly.
it. So.
You got like, that's the thing, is health and safety. If you're actually gonna put a game on, you need to realise the risk out there as well. So
apart from that, apart from trees, bits of tree blowing around and coming off, those obviously horrible leylandii. Apart from that, we've got away with not too bad, but a roof blowing off the away dugout, and of course you got to have some dry day to relay a block, and maybe that we just have to put a tarpaulin over that initially, and then rebuild it, because the roof is actually split where it's landed, so it's got to be completely redone.
I remember you sending a picture to our chat, and it was just like. That was the only part. That was the only bit of damage that had happened, which was quite surprising to me. You'd think it would be a lot more, but it's good that it was just the away dugout.
I think the wind it does when it comes from the west and southwest. It comes from corner to corner.
Yeah,
so that showed again. Obviously, it was getting underneath the dugout and lifting it. Perhaps when we put a new roof on there, maybe we've got to leave a bit of some gaps so the wind will blow through it, because it does seem to go that corner to corner, and obviously it was pretty strong as well. So, but that's the worst I've seen here. Some of the clubs you see, you feel for them. We've obviously got problems, but we don't have to rebuild a stand or get 1.5 meters of water off our pitch.
That's the thing. Especially with non-league clubs, it's like. If you have any sort of significant damage, like a stand or anything like that, it's just got to be heartbreaking for some clubs, because there's money being built up and built up and built up, and then something happens. And
we all budget for the football season or the year, and this year it's been really tough, because we've had 3 weeks in September because of cup draws. We had 3 weeks in November, and I'm not sure what reasons. I think we were off against Hendon first week in November.
I remember that.
The weather was really poor then. That came a bit earlier, because it's normally the end of November that the rain seems to start. So that was 3 weeks then, and now we're going to have 4 weeks, so that's going to be 10 weeks out of your cash flow. And Christmas wasn't great.
No.
Boxing Day we probably lost a couple hundred on the gate because of the weather. It's unfortunately now it seems to be the norm, not the exception. Since the floods of 2013 here, when we didn't play for 8 weeks, it seems to be wet from November, and it doesn't stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And then obviously 2 years ago we had snow in March twice. We had snow last year in February, game off. So the people out there that say there's no climate change, I started to read this very small article from Prince Charles, who wrote it 50 years ago, warning of everything that's happening, and obviously people thought he was a lunatic. and not right in the head, but he's been proved right. And you know, the world is different. The everything's different in the world.
Yeah.
You know, climate change is here, whether we like it or not.
Oh,
I don't think we have 4 seasons. I don't think autumn exists anymore. I think we have summer, late summer. We have then winter, but not winter as I certainly knew it.
Yeah.
Growing up, when it would always be cold. I can remember it being cold in September. I can remember it snowing in April.
It's different now, isn't it?
Yeah, but I can remember summers generally, having played cricket all through the summer. I can't remember too many years when you didn't play and there was monsoons happening.
Yeah.
And I think it's the amount of rain we get now in a short space of time. That's the killer. You know, 2 storms within a week.
Yeah, the amount of rainfall that happens is like, yeah, and it's, like you say, in such a short space of time, it's just.
It doesn't matter what, you know. We've talked about it before. We could invest 50 grand in new drainage. No guarantee it's going to work.
No, exactly.
Because you've got to. Our pitch isn't flat like most pitches that aren't laid. You know, most non-league clubs are built on somewhere that was on the edge of the town originally.
Yeah.
So this would have been farmland all around here, and this was a landfill site. So it's not ideal because obviously there's things underneath that we don't know what's there. It could be anything. So you've got gases being created from the landfill.
Yeah.
You've got movement created from the landfill. You've got movement being created from the trees that need removing.
Yeah.
And we need to start again. You know, when these were planted, they were 1-metre high saplings. Well, they're not 1-metre high anymore.
No.
And the trouble is, the roots don't grow down. They go out.
Yeah.
And they're coming up through the car park. They're obviously in the pitch. They're coming through the stands.
That's the trouble is like maintaining that level of.
And by all accounts, tree roots are 50% higher than the trees. So you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that they're quite a long way up this pitch, and you can see where they finish and where the pitch is flat, and the rest of it working down. You'll see the undulations, which actually tend to see different movements each year. So we could put in drainage, and the tree roots are going to go through the drains and break the drains. So, so it's not as simple as people think. You know, the other thing people have said is, "Oh, what about covers?" I said, "Yeah, they're great. Yeah, but where you put in the water, because you've got to get the water off the covers.
Exactly. Where's that?
If it goes into one area, that does drain really quickly. That corner. So I don't think we got an issue with that corner. We got an issue with the whole pitch. Yeah,
because you sort of did there's a part. On the side of the pitch that you drain.
Yeah, we dug a hole so that we could pump out of there.
Yeah, that was
but to be quite honest, when it stops raining, whilst it fills up quickly, that's usually when it's so much rain it runs off the top rather than underneath. But it goes, so it must drain to the park because there are natural drainage ditches in the park, which are slightly covered up by the extension to the fire station. But there is natural drainage in Hamilton Park. So I wonder, you know, obviously if we could, it doesn't show on any plans though. So the club could have put in some drainage at some point in the past, but it won't show on the plans. We've got access. We had a drainage plan done by a friend of mine who kindly offered to help us out. So we'll do a drainage plan to see where everything is, and there's nothing to show anything down there.
Really?
But it could be just literally like a storm drain or a soakaway that's just been installed by the club, which wouldn't show on any drainage.
And that's just only like a handful of the issues that you'd run into as chairman of a non-league club. You know, you've got so many your emails up to your eyeballs and you know all this sort of stuff. So
it's fun.
Is that the right word? Yeah,
no. It's. I suppose it's interesting.
Yeah, it's challenging.
It's never dull.
Oh no, exactly.
I'm always, you know, I try to believe I'm a problem solver rather than trying to create more problems.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that a lot of our issues in this country, and I think in the world, are people overcomplicate.
Yeah.
You know, people can design things, but they've got to be practical.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to work with them. So I think we're afraid sometimes to go back to basics and start again.
Yeah.
You know, big organisations have tiers of management. We don't have that. We're all hands on. So we actually problem solve all the time.
Yeah.
Every week we're probably problem solving, whether it's Brian, Alan, myself, Dominic. We're always problem solving, as are Rob, Dan, yourselves, we're trying to find a way. Generally, we're run by volunteers.
Yeah, so it's more of a tightly knit unit rather than sort of stacks and stacks of management almost.
And obviously, this is for me is more of a vocation than a career.
Yeah.
Because luckily, Kerry, my wife, is the main earner, and she subsidises me, and so I'm able to free up the time,
more time,
that I'd have to do working normally, and obviously I do get paid something, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
And obviously if I wanted to go and get a proper job, if that's the right word, or 3 proper jobs to replace what I do here, but I'm committed to the club. I want to see us go much higher than we are. I think there's capabilities here. I think the town is growing. The area from sort of Tiverton up to Bridgewater, there's a big catchment area. It's growing very quickly. That's ultimately more bums on seats, which is what we need. It's more access to potential more sponsors.
Exactly.
And ultimately with our youth development programme, more kids in that.
Yeah, exactly.
The college, Taunton Bridgewater College, will grow. University centre where you go, that will grow. So it's a good place to be. If I couldn't see light at the end of the tunnel, and I didn't feel there was that potential, I wouldn't be involved. I want to be involved in something where we can all make a difference. And ultimately leave a legacy. When I'm too old and infirm and going around in a mobility scooter, I want to say, I'm proud of being part of,
I've made a difference.
Of helping that. But it is a team effort. I know a lot of things get focused on myself and centred on myself and obviously the management and the players. But it's a team effort. As you know, we're very lucky to have people that are, giving up their time. And obviously we hope one day it will lead to perhaps jobs as we're a bigger club. Whether that be part-time or one day a week or whatever. So be it. But it's also good for your CV. It's good for people's CVs, and we want to see people progress. No different to the younger players who come here on loan. It'd be great to see a young lad go on and do what Ben Foster's done. When he was at Tiverton. But the one thing I think I need. I've been thinking this week. I need a PA, or the club needs a PA. And when people think of PAs, we have to be careful not to be sexist, and I think it's ultimately a lady that's a secretary. Well, that isn't the case.
No, it's not.
What I was thinking that we could do with someone who, unfortunately it'll be a voluntary role. But maybe someone a couple of days a week, 10 till 3 stroke 4 o'clock, who is computer literate, doesn't have to have an interest in football. Has to have a basic understanding of sport. And what we're dealing with, but someone who could take a lot of the admin away from me, and possibly Alan as well, and who's computer literate, who can do a lot of things quicker than a technophobe like me can do. And there may be someone out there. Maybe someone listens to this.
Exactly. So
there's people who I spoke to someone today whose father's retired, and he's now doing gardening as a little bit of a vocation rather than the pressure of working. And I think most people like to be part or want to be part of something that's progressive and ambitious, and there's no limit to what probably Premier League is probably out of our reach now.
For the moment.
I don't think we'll ever see a Wimbledon again.
No,
that went right through from non-league into the first.
Not in our lifetime. I don't think. No,
but there's no reason. Yeovil have proved it. They got to the Championship. But I think I don't think the gap and people that have managed at League One have told me this. The gap between League One and us is not that wide in terms of ability, in terms of money. The key difference is TV money. Once you get into the Football League and the National League, not so much the National League because obviously there aren't so many games. And it's not
on TV.
It's not every day, but that's what makes the difference. Other sports get massively subsidised. The 2 other major sports in the country, one winter, one summer sport, get absolutely massively subsidised by their governing bodies through TV money. Now we get none of that.
No.
You know, we pay £900 a year to enter the league and League Cup.
Exactly.
In a sponsored league, which I would have thought the first thing you should be saying to a sponsor of a league is, right, you need to fund. First thing is funding the entries for the teams.
That's the thing, is if its main role is to be a sponsor, you'd sort of maybe think that, but
and then the second thing is prize money.
Yeah.
Not the administration of the league, which is obviously where some of the money is going to. Isn't a problem, but there should be ways. Really, the FA should be funding the leagues. The Premier League should be funding the league's administration.
I totally agree.
You need administrators. I think the Southern League probably have the smallest workforce. I think they only have 2 full-time and 1 part-time. I expect other leagues might have more than that.
Yeah.
But the FA, to me, should be doing that. That shouldn't be coming from the clubs. We're run generally. Football clubs are run by volunteers.
Yeah.
Or we're 95% run by volunteers. Some clubs will be 100% run by volunteers. Some will be 70, 80, 50% run by volunteers. So, again, it's that thing I talked about before. It's joined up thinking. It's having an open dialogue between parties that we've all got the common goal is for people to come and watch non-league football. That's ultimately what we all want, and I'd hope the FA want and the leagues want.
Yeah.
Certainly from the league's point of view, the more bums on seats, the easier it will be for them to get a sponsor.
Yeah.
It's hard to sell something to a sponsor, say the League Cup, when the average crowd is 150. Well, that's not really going to be attractive to a sponsor.
Yeah.
Certainly won't be attractive to me if I was a potential sponsor. So it's that joined up thinking. It's that open dialogue, and we all have to listen. And sometimes you have to filter a lot of what you hear, and but that's part of the learning exercise.
Yeah, that filtering is that's something we know all too well.
I won't say on the podcast what I used to call it, but it's got 4 letters, begins with S.
Okay, so we're recording
it's not soft.
No, it's not. It's not. We're recording this on Thursday, the 20th of February, a few days out, just before our trip to Hayes and Yedding in the league. Before we face them, Kev, how do you think the lads will fare on Saturday?
I'm always confident.
Oh yeah,
we've got a good squad. Hayes and Yedding, in my humble opinion, are probably the best team we've played.
Yeah.
Here, it was a good game against them.
It was,
and they looked strong all over the pitch.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can read too much into Tuesday's result, because I think from what I understand, Blackford and Langley had 6 under-18s
really
in their squad, and so. And it was 1-0 at half time, so it would make sense where they probably got tired second half and exposed them a little bit. But you have to give any team credit who scored 6 goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's no mugs in this league, whether it be 18-year-olds or 28-year-olds.
Yeah.
But I think I'm expecting a good game. I know it's a good ground up there, good pitch, and I think. So I'm always confident.
Yeah.
You look at our squad. And you just think there's goals from everywhere, and when we're on it, we defensively we've looked really good. Swindon, I thought we were fantastic defensively. Pricey, Nick, and it was Shane, wasn't it? I think. Was it?
I believe it was Shane. Yeah.
Yeah. Ben was on the bench, I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
And they could have all won man of the match.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it was a difficult, tricky day with swirling wind again. And then Ryan, to me, is the best centre midfield player in the league. Still one of the best in the whole of non-league, in my opinion.
100%. That penalty was. Oh.
Yeah, our strikers, Sully, Rocky, Righty.
Yeah.
There's not many better 3 than those.
No.
Obviously Rocky's out at the minute, but then you've got Ollie, Harry in midfield.
Yeah.
Shorty, Ross that day.
Yeah.
Lewis was stuck in Paris, getting back for. I think he got to the ground for about kick-off, didn't he? But fair play to him. He still. Yeah, he
still got there.
Still got there. Yeah. He was delayed in Paris due to the air strikes. And then you look at the bench and you just think there's quality, and you have to have a strong bench these days. Alan, our finance director, I think he's got used to now. I said to him before. He said, "Oh, the bench is expensive." I said, "Yeah, get used to it, because you're not going to win anything."
Oh no, exactly. You've got to have a strong team all round.
I think don't know if I've missed anybody from that. I'm trying to think who was on the bench at Swindon.
I
think it was Ben, Lewis,
Dan, who's we haven't seen a lot of. No, exactly.
But he looks a really sharp, quick player.
Yeah, and for the minutes he's been on the field,
he's done really well. I thought he did really well at Merthyr.
Yeah,
and caused them some problems. And and obviously and Spokesy. Spokesy's. I think he's a great signing.
Oh, for sure, he's a brilliant addition to.
And I think it'll take him. I think he's come in and looks great.
Yeah.
But it will take him a little bit of time to adjust to the players he's playing with.
Yeah.
He was probably, one of two or three of the best players at Yate.
Mm-hmm.
And here he will be, one of the best players.
Yeah.
But I would like to think we have, 11 match winners.
Yeah.
11, 12 match winners. And I think in other teams where they're struggling, maybe they haven't got that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's 19.
Exactly.
But I've seen enough in him so far that I think he'll be a great addition.
Mm-hmm.
That one goal you can see against Bath, he could have had probably 6.
Oh yeah.
On another day, just not quite falling for him at the moment. But so I think there's a good mix of experience and youth. And then you got someone like Callum Watts.
Oh yeah, exactly.
for 17, who obviously is with England colleges this week.
Yeah, he is.
But when he's played, against Bath and when he's played against Truro in the cups, he just doesn't look 17.
No, he looks like he just.
Yeah,
nothing.
He's got no fear, and maybe it pulled him when he cut his knee open.
Yeah,
maybe that didn't help him. But it's a shame really, because I think that was the game where I'd said to Rob in the day, I really want to see Callum dominate that game, because I think that was a game that he could have done.
Definitely.
Wet pitch, slow, low centre of gravity, and so there's, and then you've got the likes of Noah and Luke in the background who are playing at Bridgewater and are getting plenty of minutes, and you've also got Owen, Owen Irish, who's obviously a club legend, who's started playing again and getting minutes at Bridgewater. We got a good squad, and there may be one or two additions dependent on what's happening with players. Obviously, the loan players, we know they're a loan player that they may be recalled. Riley's been playing for Bristol City under 23s, which is great for him. Not so good for us, but that's the way it is. He's a professional.
This is the thing, is that you go into a loan deal expecting that. You've got that in the back of your mind, and obviously it's great to see when they're playing well, such as Harry and Harry
Riley did brilliantly by all accounts at Portsmouth the other night, and they were very unlucky not to make Wembley. And so they're and they're say the loan players this season. Zach was really good. Unfortunately got injured, and he's injured again. He's been at Bath, and I think he's only played 12 minutes. Then he's got injured again,
which is unfortunate for, especially for him, because
I think he's for 18, he's so mature. Well, I think that, to be quite honest, I think they all are, and I think when you look at the pro clubs now, it's very well organised.
It's
very professional. I think there's less chance of players dropping out and through their own fault, through not managing their lifestyle and things like that. I think the lads, all of the lads I've seen, are spot on with how they conduct themselves, and I think that's the big thing for me that I've seen in professional football now. It's there is if they want to make it, they'll be given every opportunity, and they've obviously got to make their own decisions. But ultimately, if sometimes kids will be unlucky because there's several players in their position during that period that they're there that they don't get the chance. But if they do drop into non-league, the gap is not as wide as it was, and I think that's why non-league's so strong now, because you are, sad fact is 98% of second year professionals get released.
Really?
So that must be heartbreaking.
Oh yeah.
When you've been all through the apprenticeship, you've been through the academy apprenticeship, first year pro, second year pro, only 2% make it, because there just aren't. I think there's only 1,000 professional footballers in the country, and that's
mental. When
top down. I think that's British.
Right. Okay.
I believe that doesn't include Scotland. That is just the English Football League.
When you break it down and give me the numbers, that seems like crazy. It's like 2%.
Yeah.
Mental.
Because there aren't the opportunities.
No.
And of course now, clubs have got under 23s and under 21s.
Yeah, there's different
so
avenues and stuff.
In the old days, there would be a reserve side
Yeah.
where you would have 27, 28-year-olds. Clubs don't want that now.
No.
You know, there's no point wasting money on
Mm-hmm.
them. They probably can't afford to because of the amount of the contracts these days. So, you know, if you haven't made it now by 23,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there are opportunities to go back and, you know, come in back via non-league, which
Yeah.
a lot of players are doing now.
Yeah.
And obviously Jamie Vardy, you know, came through that.
He did.
He's done all right.
Mm. Not too bad.
No.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think the opportunities are there, and but every lad we've had on loan, I think, has been fantastic. And you can tell they care.
Yeah,
they
definitely.
really care for playing, you know, for us as well. And,
Yeah.
you know, we treat them all well, I think, and you know, we're pretty well set up as a club.
Mm.
But yeah, they I think, you know, there's no lads that you'd say nah, I don't think.
No, exactly. Even with, like, whenever I've done interviews with any of the youngsters, it's always been like, you know, they're humble, and it's that they're not treating it as if to just like a little joke. It's they're taking it seriously, and I appreciate that as an interviewer.
Everything's much more professional from the non-league game up to the top level. You know, the top level, you've got everything there to make you the best you possibly can be, and even further down you have you know, to a lower scale. It's quite interesting when Shrewsbury said, I think if they got £1 million from the Liverpool replay, that would have been invested in the scientific side of things and the research and all that sort of stuff. Now, yeah, they're only 2 divisions below Liverpool, but the gap in financial terms is huge.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get clubs that relay a pitch, you know, I think was it last year that it was an FA Cup tie and they relayed the pitch, and they can't.
I can't remember that.
It was a league. I'm sure it's a League One side.
Yeah.
They played Tottenham. They played Tottenham, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they relayed the pitch.
Yeah.
Which, you know, again, you think things about, I returf the penalty.
Yeah.
Occasionally. I had to this year. But you know, to relay a whole pitch. But then that should be with them. Whereas obviously at the top level, they could put in a new pitch.
Yeah.
Anyone listening that wants to invest in a new football pitch here, I've had a quote for 800,000, which is a hybrid pitch, which is what we'd like.
Yeah.
A company called SIS Pitches, a British company, and I think they installed Southampton. Southampton are the last Premier League club to have a hybrid pitch.
Okay.
They had a fibre sand pitch before, which was what was the top pitches in the past, which is what Yeovil had 20 years ago, I think. But obviously they wear out. The SIS pitches are incredible.
But after that penalty shootout against Truro, like it was sort of like it's great that we won, but you just, every time they take a penalty, you're like, oh no, it's my penalty spot.
Just hoping there was more left footers, you know, because they were all right footed. I think there were 2 left footers.
It's just the same dent all the time.
Yeah, and it was getting worse and worse. And in fairness, they were all trending it down, and it held up generally very well. But when I obviously I went out straight after and top dressed it and then reseeded it, but it was I thought then when we tested it, it was 2 inches, very 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 soft, and then beneath it was rock hard. Simon and I went out and you know, we've re-turfed it, but of course then you haven't got the time. You haven't got the time lapse to get it to bed in.
This is the thing because if you've got a midweek and then a Saturday, there's you know.
Yeah, financially, obviously, this 4 weeks is a nightmare. But from a pitch point of view, it takes the pressure off.
Yeah,
and you know, obviously, you can see the seed kicking up in the penalty spots. The goal mouth won't come back because it's so hard underneath. You know, it's back to the bad old days of when they used to put builder's sand and roll it. Yeah, and obviously it's like concrete. Yeah. And so it's hard for the roots to penetrate that. But I've got an idea for what we can do. You can have small bits of hybrid pitches. Okay. So they have a smaller machine, which I guess it's similar to what they use. They've just done, my old cricket club, they've just done 2 hybrid cricket wickets at Taunton Cricket Club.
Not bad.
And so I assume it's that sort of. So you could do the 6-yard box, the 18-yard box.
Yeah, the places that are most affected.
Linesman's runs because they run like crabs. And they don't realise it. You know, when it's a bit drier, they'll wear Astro boots, and I forget sometimes to say please don't wear them because literally it rips the grass 100%. But that's the way I have to run. It always wears out, funny enough, by our dugout, which must be the worst.
I wonder who that might be.
I wonder, it must be the worst place to have a dugout. And that, again, is another thing that we want to change in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Those dugouts are in a terrible position.
But this is the thing, that all comes back to money and
subsidising
timing money
more than anything. Because the closed season is so short. From when we finish. We'll finish on the 10th of May this year, which is the youth tournament. Our charitable trust, the youth trust, is going to be organising. And then it's renovations, reseeding, then leave it, and then we'll be back probably second stroke third week of July.
Cool.
So it's not a long time to do everything you'd like to do.
Exactly, there's
obviously July, August you can still be doing things, but the key things you want to be doing them straight after the season. So that's another moan from me that the season's far too long.
Cause then there's a short window in between.
But they also, for being so long, then they condense it. So, so they then rush the playoffs. The Football League, they don't.
No,
it's this year the playoffs will be Tuesday and Saturday. Because of the change of the bank holiday this year, which I assumed was Friday the 1st, but it's not.
No, it's Friday the 8th. Yeah.
Now I don't understand why couldn't we have 2 bank holidays?
Don't know.
We're celebrating the end of World War II, the 75th anniversary.
Yeah.
So surely that justifies a bank holiday in its own right.
Yeah, surely just have one, and then also
and because lots of things are organised for the first bank holiday in May. Lots of events, charity events.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't understand why they couldn't. We've
give us 2 days off.
Yeah, we've had bank holidays for royal weddings.
Yeah.
So hang on. If you're going to celebrate it, then at least make it a bank holiday.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen again, is it?
No.
The 75 years will be over.
Exactly.
Yeah. So surely.
Kev just wants another day off.
No, I'll be in.
I know you'll be in. No, of course.
Bank holidays don't work.
No, exactly.
For
no, you'll be here. You'll be here.
But yeah, so that's when we'll finish. And but again, it's that rush. We suggested Saturday. Yes, I know it's going to extend the league and it would cost us another week's wages.
Yeah.
But it's fairer to play, in my opinion, a playoff on a Saturday than a Tuesday.
That makes sense.
Because one team has to travel.
Yeah.
And whatever you say, can players afford to say I'm not working today? Probably most of them can't. They either have to take holiday.
Exactly.
Because you could be going anywhere in the Southern League, and bear in mind our league covers 13 counties.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it could be if you stop the league now, it could be Chesham.
Yeah.
It could be Hayes and Yeading, and vice versa. They could be coming south because at the moment the top 6 includes several from the southwest and obviously several from the southeast.
Yeah.
So the top 8 is quite well spread.
Well, yeah.
But it's going to be Tuesday, Saturday. So we just have to.
That's the thing is we can say all we want about it, but in reality, I don't think much is going to change. Unfortunately,
no. But
the
thing is, it's just hoping that I don't want to keep moaning.
Oh no, of course not.
Well, I will though. But but you have to listen. We all have to listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so some people when you're working inside out, so we all see everything from the inside looking out. And that's the same for people looking in. Sometimes people have some great ideas.
Yeah,
looking
just a fresh pair of eyes.
Yeah. And again, I think when you're in it, so often the old saying is they do it because it's always been done that way. It isn't right.
Exactly.
It's the world has changed.
Yeah, you've got to think logistically as well with
absolutely
things like that. So.
And, when we played Beaconsfield 2 years ago in the Champion of Champions match, we didn't kick off till late because they were late. That was on a Saturday that would have been the first Saturday in May because I think it was the bank holiday weekend and traffic was horrendous. And the southwest now, obviously, with all the developments are great for bums on seats, but you probably need to double the size of the motorway.
Yeah, exactly.
From Bristol down to Exeter.
Oh yeah.
To cope with the extra traffic. And obviously, we notice now the holiday season.
Yeah.
Don't really want to be going on a Saturday. That's one of the reasons we try not to play friendlies on a Saturday. Because there's enough travelling on a Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Another weekend. So many weekends tied up for players. So we try and play on a Tuesday and a Friday.
Yeah. There we are. Just a couple more questions, Kev. Let's hear some of your favourite moments as part of Taunton Town, and also some of your worst moments or bad moments. Strictly on the pitch. We'll keep this on the pitch.
On the pitch.
Yeah.
I suppose we lost to Guildford, who were bottom of the league.
Yeah.
And that would have been, I guess, about 2014. I can remember it was Lee was the manager. Mo Hopkins came in. It was his first game as assistant. They'd already beaten us up there 2-1, I think, and then they beat us down here 2-1, and that was quite a low moment. I remember Lee and I sat in when the office was down there, which was basically like working in a fridge. It was so cold, and we sat there and we just chatted, and we just said, I think we were more angry.
Yeah,
really.
You're just in disbelief almost.
Yeah, and the next day I was still angry. so I went out and I spent about 3 hours divoting the pitch.
Yeah.
And that's before the days of having a quadruplate. So it was either slitting the pitch or divoting. So I just went out and I lost myself for 2 or 3 hours wandering around there, and you're running things over in your head.
Yeah.
That was quite a low moment because we'd been doing okay.
Yeah.
And then and I'm trying to think if that was the same year that we went to Bath City and beat them 1-0 in the Premier Cup semi-final, when we went on to win it. 2014, I reckon it was. But that was quite, just those 2 games were quite a low point.
Because it's just that thing of dropping form and losing to a side.
Yeah, to a side that and of course we didn't have fantastic crowds then, and you're losing to the side of the bottom of the table. You're trying to attract more people, and then you lose, and you're going one step forward.
Doesn't help your brand, does it? Exactly.
On the pitch, I think the most irritating thing is losing games to weather. That's the hardest thing for me, because we do everything we can. But sometimes you think there's nothing we can do today. Like last Saturday, it was so frustrating. 5 o'clock on Friday, pitch was absolutely fine. It was all ready, all marked out, ready to go. You
mentioned this to us on our WhatsApp. That woke up the next morning, you're like, maybe not.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No, exactly. And that's the thing, is that you can't control the weather, unfortunately. It's just
it's one thing we can't have any say in.
Exactly.
Unless we had if I could prop up a big umbrella, a 2-acre umbrella, when it's raining, it just drifts off down into the car parks, then great. But no, that's I can't think. With sport, I've always been. You've got another game. Yeah. I hate losing. Unfortunately, I had to learn to lose a lot more than I've ever lost in probably the first 3 or 4 years of being chairman here. And it's frustrating because you're doing everything the same. Yeah. But it is down to money. And we obviously had a very small budget. We had to pay off a lot of debt. Yeah. And whatever people think, the bigger budget, the better players in theory you can get. Yeah. But the difference is with us, we've built it around team spirit on and off the pitch, and I think the players appreciate everything they get. They appreciate how hard we work off the pitch, and they give everything on the pitch. Yeah, they do. And that's the thing with any sport. I don't like losing. I don't think anyone does. Who's competitive. But you have to learn to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
But as long as people give 100%. That's why we love and hate football. Yeah. Because it's no other sport is like it. The game can change in a couple of seconds. It can. And that's why you have to be, especially today, you've got to be 100% focused, 100% concentrating. But yeah, that's probably my low points. Yeah. I guess I can't think of too many. I think again the newer fans probably don't realise how hard it was and how poor we were. No one's fault. We had to go with what we had. Yeah. And therefore the management couldn't go out and get another player. Yeah, exactly. They couldn't say I need this player, but we can't offer him what he's getting at so and so. Yeah, yeah. Now we're in a slightly different position where we've got a better budget. It's still tough, still doesn't sit there in a bank account at the beginning of the season and gets drained. We generate it.
Wants to pay as you go sort of system.
Yeah. And when you have no games, that's your biggest source of income.
Yeah, you mentioned that to Richard from the Gazette, wasn't it? It was 28 days that you've gone without
we will have
home
this
game.
month. And that is that.
You said to me before the game and before the podcast that your phone would ring.
Phone's bound to go. It's probably someone.
Can answer if you want.
Probably someone trying to sell me something.
Okay, yeah.
It's,
I get those calls.
It's a mobile now they use, so they don't use.
Yeah, and you pick it up, and you're like, okay, right, yeah.
But the thing is, the funny thing is with it, most of them have got my address from 2 addresses ago.
Oh, right, okay.
So as soon as they do that, I can say to them, "What's my address?"
Yeah.
And so you can't speak to me, and they're going to be.
I get that with text sometimes, because my number used to be my mum's old number, and I still get text saying, "Oh, hi Tammy," and I'm like, "That's not me," but okay. So
that's just your split personality.
Yeah, exactly. Some of your favourite moments as well for Thornton.
Obviously, for me, winning the league was
obviously
because that's a sign of a great team.
Oh, they're back.
That's the answer phone then going. Winning the league, and I think you can judge a team and to win the league the way we did by 19 points, losing one game by default, and that takes, and the weather was terrible for the last for our last couple months of the season. When you look back in March and see what the pitches were like, they were trashed. FA Cup first round proper was a really proud moment because I can remember being down at the bottom and getting the goalie warm up posts and looking back, because Simon was kit manager then as well as groundsman and or assistant groundsman then to me, and obviously now there's no way Simon could do all that and look back and see the ground not full but 2,300 in here.
Yeah, it's because I watched the highlights not too long ago. This must have been a couple of weeks ago. It just came up on my recommended. Yeah. So I watched the highlights and I was like, there's so many people here. There's everyone and their dog. So
and it's funny that people say the Legends game last year.
Yeah.
Well, they only came to that, but that's because they wanted to. And it was on a Sunday. And I got this feeling now that Saturdays, in the old days, Saturdays was sport day. Yeah. It's not anymore because of Sky Sports. Yeah. Because of BT Sport.
Super
and because
Sunday.
of sport is on any day.
Yeah.
Basically now. So we have to think, is Saturday, is easy to get people here on a Saturday? Because if you look at the 2 biggest crowds in our league, us and Tiverton, both games, bank holidays.
Yeah.
So
they were, weren't they?
So Saturdays maybe is harder.
Yeah.
People don't. Not many people work Monday to Friday 9 to 5 anymore.
No.
So people's working pattern is different. Everybody's on duty. That has a work email. Yeah. WhatsApp group or everything that's out there now. That day was a fantastic day, and then obviously the trip for the replay. Bit of a long trip, but but it was tough on the players. We left at 5:30 on the Monday night, so they could work on the Monday. Yeah, and then we travelled up to Worcester, had something to eat in Worcester, then got to Wigan, stayed in Wigan, trained at Wigan's academy ground, because they trained here a few years before, when they were in the Europa Cup or whatever it was called then, and so we had a loose relationship with them. They let us train there, then up to Barrow, and then we travelled back. I always can remember Craig Veal was asleep on the floor in the coach. We got back to Taunton at 5:30 in the morning. He had to be at work in Exeter at 8 as a teacher, because he could only have one day off.
Really?
But it was a great experience.
I'm sure.
Billericay last year, great experience going there, and drawing, and probably should have beaten them 2-2 against a team that had a 22 grand a week budget at the time, and then the replay back here was actually, I thought, very subdued, and I think that's the problem when you get a big crowd. If you get 2,000 here, well, there might be 50 singing, and the atmosphere I thought was very subdued, because it's people that are here for the occasion, rather than the club. But what we have to do is, when we have those occasions, we have to get people to come back and go, I enjoyed that. And last year, we got people from the Legends game. So when some of our fans criticise and say, why are you doing this and why are you doing that, it's to generate money, first and foremost. Obviously. It's to generate interest, and it's to generate football to the wider community, who might actually come back and support us. And we know of people that came to that Legends game and have been back and are now don't miss a game. So it's not just, we haven't got a magic wand where we can suddenly grab another 200, 300, 400 people. So it's drip feeding to those people.
So that was how I originally started. Was I did that first interview with you, and you mentioned come to a game. So first game was the Salisbury game, 4-3, and I was like, well, I'm hooked. So
what a game that was! That just had everything. And again, going back to the weather, the day before there was a foot of water in that bottom corner. So one shower of rain, the game would have been off, and. It was still one of my favourite. Probably saying that, I'm glad you said that. That's probably one of my favourite moments. To come back from 3-2 in the 90th minute and win 4-3. Probably got Busey a contract at.
100%. Yeah, they saw the video. They know.
But it was just one of those nights, wasn't it? One of those nights where it's you wouldn't forget it. And but I think winning the league, FA Cup, winning 3. I think we won the Somerset Premier Cup 3 times out of 4 years. Now, when we won that first, that was a massive thing. Because we'd never won it.
Because there's the
first piece of silver. I think we beat Frome in the final, we beat Bath in the semi-final. But it's funny now, we use that cup as a stepping stone, and also sometimes we'll be strong, like we would have been strong at Western this week. And so would Western, because neither of us had played.
Exactly.
But it's also a way of blooding the younger players and the college players. So it serves a double purpose now. But not that long ago, winning the Somerset Premier Cup was the be all and end all. Because that was I wouldn't say an easy target, but it was an easier thing to win. To win a league over 42 games takes a huge amount. And I suppose I can't finish without saying last season was incredible. To achieve what we did after obviously Liam Meeks leaving in September. It sort of, I didn't panic because I knew Rob and obviously Matt had come on board. And I'd said to Matt when he had to retire, I said, don't be a stranger. Don't come out of football. It's difficult when you retire.
For sure.
Through injury, it's a horrible time. But you've got to mentally, you need to stay involved
in the game.
So I was confident that Rob and Matt would, and then Rob brought in Perks. And they were a great team, and their achievement to take us to runners up to Weymouth, who are obviously a very well established club. I don't think people realise how big an achievement that was last year, and of course we wanted to win the league. We were
and
20 minutes away from it.
Exactly, and also it's like going out on penalties was another thing, but that's just what happened.
But to achieve that from going up and then competing, and I think perhaps we went under the radar a little bit last year, a bit like maybe Tiverton this year. Perhaps teams were more open against us. This year it's certainly very different. But I think that's a massive achievement. That's the highest level we've been at, apart from in the old days when the structure was different. When we were step 3, but you didn't have the tiers. You didn't have step 2 as it is now. So you had the National League or the Football Conference, I think it was called then, or no, Alliance League it was called then, and then you went into the Southern and Northern Premier and Isthmian Premier. But to actually to finish runners up, step 3 in your first season, without having that's again people have to understand our budget is okay. But it's not in the top 5 or 6. And to be competing in the top 5 or 6 with the budget we have is, I wouldn't say it's incredible. I think we've got good players. We've got good players who buy in.
As you mentioned, we've got a strong side all around. So.
And they buy into what we're trying to achieve. And if you get things right, you don't have to throw money at players just to say, come and join us. The club is sold. We don't think we've got a good reputation, whereas some clubs will throw money at players and then wonder why they don't gel as a team. And again, you've got to keep giving players incentives. We want them to do. We want them to do well. If they do well, we all. We're all part of something that's successful, and none of us can do it without each other.
Like you said before, it's one common goal.
And it's a massive team effort as well. Again, people don't realise the amount of people involved. To the stuff you guys do in the media team, it doesn't just happen. It's not just press a button and it's all done. You've got to stand up there in the freezing cold and the wind blowing and things like that. And
I'm used to it by now. It's fine.
Yeah, and then sometimes the camera shakes a bit because the wind. You're trying to keep hold of the camera, and people just don't realise what goes on.
And this is I don't want to make this a moaning session, but people are like, okay, cool, you've done the filming, that's it. No, I've got to go home and spend 2 hours editing as well. But that's just a little thing from me. But
it's not. I say it's when we finish. When the game's over, we don't finish.
Exactly, because you and Alan and everyone here are just.
So when people, if we lose a game, God forbid, they can immediately focus on the negative.
Yeah.
Well, we can't.
No.
So I'm still in here the next day.
Yeah, because things have to be done.
Win, lose or draw. Simon and I are thinking, right, what if it's a home game?
Yeah.
Right, pitch. What's our plan? If we've got a midweek game, myself and Dan, if we're driving to a game, which we, every midweek game we drive to a game, unless it's maybe a playoff game, it's be slightly different, but we're planning that.
Just
making sure the kits, knowing what we wear, what the opposition wear, because frankly the league handbook, which is now going to be stopped, is a waste of time because nothing actually is right
exactly.
more often than not. So you go to some games and there's one club, not in our league, but we're trying to be clever and not telling us what that goalie was playing in, and we ended up with Lloyd with a top and shorts that didn't match because they were messing around, and I just think that's
it's like, well, what's the point in that?
Disrespectful.
Like,
we treat every team that comes here with respect, whether win, lose or draw, before or after the game. You respect your opposition and you treat them with respect in the way you feed them, how their changing room is, and in general I think the standard is really good in this league. They've got some great people behind the scenes that you see, bless them, the kit men. They're walking off carrying 15 bags and loading up the kit, and and that's why Dan and I will often stop if we've driven to a game and get some food, because by the time he's finished up, we think, right, let's go, otherwise we're going to be here for another half an hour.
Exactly.
Well, often there's no food left anyway, or it's not edible.
It's just gone
for want of a better phrase.
And also, just as if you're listening or watching this, if you'd like to get any questions in for future guests to answer, please email media@tauntontown.com or go to @TauntonTownFC on social media. Just lastly, Kev, what drives you? And this isn't because Meeks has sort of started a thing now.
What drives me? Ashley spur away from Copford Car Sales sponsors a car. So it's a Vauxhall Insignia. Because from episode 3, Meeks was like, "Oh, my BMW." No, not your car. Not your car. No. What
drives you to be the best you can be?
I've always been, I think, someone that's driven. I'm someone that's not ever satisfied. That's sometimes not a good thing.
Stubborn.
I'm competitive. I think I'm honest. I try and be honest with people. I like to be straight with people, and I want to win every game. Same as Rob's just like that as well. I want us to win every game, but I know as I've grown older and wiser, that isn't going to be possible. And again, as I said, just what you've just followed up with there, that my door is always open. I don't want a queue of 50 people asking me silly questions, but if people want to email me, then I will always take the time to answer questions, because I think some people have a perception of something which, rightly or wrongly, they think is right. Now, when you actually explain to people how things work, especially in a non-league football club like ourselves, they go, "Oh, I didn't really think of it like that." So, for example, I had a complaint about Rebecca Pow having a board here.
Right, yeah.
Well, Rebecca Pow's a sponsor, as would Lord Such of the Monster Raving Looney Party, if he was the MP for Taunton.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care who it is, because they're paying for it. And so if there was a change of MP locally, I would have expected the next MP to do the same. You go to a lot of clubs, Swindon Supermarine, for example, their MP there has been very supportive of the club, goes there to virtually every home game. And you go to a lot of clubs, and the MP should be supporting your club, because we're all ultimately putting Taunton on the map. So they I expect them to sponsor.
It's everyone's best.
But one of those things, when I explained how it worked, if she doesn't pay for her board,
it
gets taken
down.
down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Simple as that. So everybody who's got a board here pays.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But it was just the perception we were supporting Rebecca Pow. No, we're non-political.
Yeah.
We can't have any allegiance.
No, exactly.
To any party or any politics or anything like that. But once I'd explained it, and the guy I communicated with understood.
Yeah.
But that was just a perception again. So sometimes and you know what it's like today. Chinese whispers, people sometimes like to think they're knowledgeable about things they don't know very much about. And that is a dangerous thing because then it just travels round and then gets exacerbated. Yeah. And as we've seen recently, sadly, with someone taking their own life through often being trolled. Yeah. And we have had experience of that here. I personally, two of us had some real problems with someone, and it did get reported to the police. Okay. This was many years ago, and it was taken as a hate crime. Okay. So I think I put a tweet out quite recently to say that I was taught think before you speak growing up, and now because of social media, all I say to people is think before you write. Yeah. Because you can check what you're writing.
Exactly. That's the thing with the rise of social media. Yeah. It's not even the rise of social media. It's just the. I think because social media is just it's there.
I think it's the ignorance of you're dealing with another human being, and ultimately we're all fragile. Yeah. We might put on a front. It's like saying there's no mental health issues with professional sports people. There are. Of
course there
is. Because they're in a real high pressurized situation. And when someone makes a mistake, don't criticise them.
No.
They haven't mean to make that. They all want to score from 20 yards, and
they've not done that on purpose.
They don't want to miss a header or not save a goal or whatever. And it happens. How many times does it happen in the game where there's a mistake that leads to a goal?
Exactly.
It's going to happen. Doesn't matter whether it's our level. Yeah. Who was the defender Spurs last week? Son. Son's winning goal. He didn't mean to make that mistake.
No, exactly.
He's trained to the optimum, but.
It's not like
you're going to make mistakes.
Did that on purpose.
Yeah, so I don't like players being criticised and people having goes at players because they're out there trying to do a job. Yeah, and nobody means to make a mistake. And it's funny when things happen, whether it be opposition players and we're all the same. It happens, but just support your players. That's one thing I've always You analyse the game afterwards, support your players for 90 minutes. We don't have the time to worry about, should we have won that game, should we have won that game? If you think, as a fan you're analysing, we're doing the same. Yeah. But we're accountable. That's the difference. The only thing the fans would be accountable for is hopefully not coming. Yeah. That's the way they people vote with their feet. But I think, just going back to what we said, our fans in the last few years have been really spoiled, and they're lucky. Not only just look around the country, and with that, because we've done so well, we've attracted major sponsors who've contacted us because of what we've done and how we try to do things. And it's never as easy as it looks on the surface. And but we're always, I don't want to, like we said, we don't want to be sounding like we're moaning. Yeah, I welcome input. I welcome questions. It's frustrating when we put on a forum and people don't come and ask the questions they talk about on social media. Exactly. So we're not ogres, we're not dinosaurs. We're human beings. Yeah. That I will answer sensible questions and I would try and give an honest answer. Can't always tell them everything they probably like to know. But that's what we're here for. I'm here to hopefully enlighten people in a little more, because again, another old saying, little knowledge is dangerous. Yeah. And you can do so much damage with, and you also now with social media, you can say something and then that gets sent around, as we say, with Chinese whispers, and then people, and you start these massive arguments, and
there's no need for it.
No, because we're ultimately, whoever's here, we're all the fans, the players, the volunteers. Everybody's part of one big family, which is what people talk about here. It's it's a family club. So we might fall out. Family falls out. Yeah. But just always put yourself in that person's shoes.
Yeah.
You know, and try and look at it from their point of view.
Definitely.
And ultimately, we're ambitious. We won't. You know, there's nothing. You know, going back to your original question, there's nothing that I won't do within reason to get this club where we want it. And we're all the same. You know, Brian. You know, he's wants to do so much.
Yeah.
You know, Alan, Dominic. You know, we all want to drive the club forward. You know, the shop and what they're doing with the shop. You know, Rob, Lee. Catherine and Jane in there.
Yeah.
They're doing a phenomenal job.
Of course. Yeah.
And we're all passionate about taking this club forward.
Definitely.
And so what drives me is getting to the next level, and then what will drive me when we get to the next level will be getting to the next level. But we have to try and plan that because you roughly know what things are going to cost.
Yeah.
But if you get it right, you don't have to always pay top dollar. You don't always have to, as long as you get your structure and your infrastructure and your foundations right, which is what we've certainly done over the last few years. Then people want to come and play for us, and as has been proved.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be new additions next season to complement the squad.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
There we are.
Brilliant,
Kev. That's a great segue almost to end the show. Thank you very much for your time,
Thanks,
Kevin.
Josh.
And that
Cheers,
is that's the 7th episode of the Peacocks podcast.